They're all slack, you fucking moron!
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Screen Share, a movie podcast about your moon god granddaddy strailing your eyeball. My name's Adam Cook.
Strailing your eyeball.
I added an R in there that didn't exist. Yeah, I'm Adam. Calder's here too. I kind of talked over when you said your name was Calder.
Yeah,
so I apologize.
It's fine. You do that to me.
I do that sometimes. This is Screen Share, a movie podcast. We just wrapped up Scary Month. Some people wouldn't call it that. Horror Month. Most people wouldn't call it that. Spooky Month.
Someone sandbagged his pick.
I will acknowledge that 9 was not a great pick for that month, but I'd also like to acknowledge that 7 was not a great pick for that month.
I think 7 is better than 9.
I think that's true. Or do you mean for that category?
Both.
I disagree that it's better for that category, but I do agree.
I guarantee you it's better than that category because someone could walk out of 7 and still be scared and shaken up. You could walk out of 9.
Exactly.
And fall asleep on the ground in a movie theater.
And I punched my microphone. It's still working though.
Just like it's like working with a.
It's like working with a what?
It's someone who's like a little Labrador retriever, like a little dinglebat.
Like a little dinglebat.
Yeah.
What is that?
So
can you
thoughts
elaborate?
On the Harden trade. Harden to the Clippers. Are they going to win?
So actually, let's talk about this for a second. James Harden traded to the Los Angeles Clippers for some...
It has a relation to this movie. I'll do an incredible segue later on.
All right. I just don't care. I don't think that either team is going to get better or worse with this trade. And I think it doesn't matter. And I think that James Harden is kind of embarrassing, if I'm being honest. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. Maybe he's a fine guy. But he's very publicly, aggressively, and in bad taste forced himself from 4 teams. So, I don't know. Just very interesting.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
It's, the trade is, it's something. I don't understand that, the thing is like, the Clippers aren't going to win.
No.
It's not like a thing with the Nuggets where it's like, you never think it could have happened because you don't think they'll win. But it's more like Kawhi and Paul George are going to get injured. Harden's going to choke in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Russ is going to mess something up.
Yeah.
And like Terrence Mann, what are we doing with him?
Yeah.
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 You want to be on the pod? Is that what's happening?
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, we are. You can be on the pod. Give your opinion on the Harden trade. Give your opinion on the Harden trade.
My opinion is I thought this podcast was about movies and I really thought you weren't recording right now. Hello to all my fans.
There it is. There it is. All the fans of the wedding planner episode.
That's actually the most listened to episode.
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
13 listens. So now here's the thing. There's not too much of a difference between the jersey for the Clippers and the jersey for the Philadelphia 76ers. So it's going to look like Harden's playing on the same team.
Okay, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
And now here's the problem with that is like now Nike's got to make a new city jersey.
No, they don't.
Because now they have to make, they do. They need 13 city jerseys for each team. Okay.
All right.
And they need to keep on making pretty bad things because it seems to run in the family.
I guess
Travis Knight, the son of Phil Knight, founder of Nike, made this movie, and he's made like a couple movies that are just like fine. I think a lot of people like this movie. I just don't think it's very good.
Yeah. Wait, this
that was
movie?
my segue. Yeah.
You don't think it's very good?
I think it is fine.
Oh, fuck. Well, guess what, everybody? Yesterday was Halloween. It's almost Christmas time. It's Christmas time, everybody.
Can they hear this?
Yeah, man.
Why are you doing a Christmas thing right now? We have a whole Christmas month. What are you doing?
I don't know, man. I'm mostly just disappointed to hear that you didn't think this
You're
movie was
disrespecting
good.
the troops.
I guess we'll get into it.
Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yeah, let me talk about this film for a little bit. It was directed by Travis Knight. It was his feature directorial debut, and he's only directed one other film, and that's Bumblebee, the 2018
and he's working on another one.
Film.
2025, I think he's doing another animated movie called I think it's something like Squidward's Big Day Off or something.
I'm gonna doubt that it's that, but I appreciate.
I think
your
it's
honesty.
like kind of like Ferris Bueller, but with Squidward and stop motion. That's it's what I've been hearing. Through the trees, through the grapevines.
I'm not gonna believe a single word you said.
I have a lot of contacts on the night side of things.
On the Travis Knight side of
Travis
things?
And Phil Knight, yes, I'm very in with their family.
Okay.
I have a lot of free shoes.
So this was produced by Leica.
And I was telling them to go after MJ. They should have put me in that fucking movie. Anyway. Leica.
This movie was produced by Leica. It's an animation studio. Also done such films as Paranorman, The Missing Link. I think a couple others, but those are the main ones. And then this movie, Kubo and the Two Strings. This movie got a star-studded cast. It's got Art Parkinson as Kubo. Not really a star, but worth mentioning as the lead character. Charlize Theron. Is it Theron or Theron? I always don't know.
Say whatever you want.
Charlize. Matthew McConaughey, Ralph Fiennes, Rooney Mara, George Takei, and more. Pretty good cast. Well, the first time I watched this, I didn't realize anyone who was in it until the end. Now, we'll get into the reaction to such a cast in a minute. But,
yeah, pretty cool cast, you know?
Leica's...
How about I'll let you get into that?
Yeah. Leica's production designer, Shannon Tyndall, pitched this movie, basically being like, we should do a fantasy stop-motion animated film based on samurais. And they got started on it. I'll read the puppet facts later. I've got a bunch of puppet facts, or just like facts about the movie. Actually, I'll just say these now. So the movie is actually the longest stop motion film to date of all time. At 1 hour 41 minutes, beating out Coraline, which was also a Leica production. Which I guess is the one that I forgot to mention previously.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But they I love stop motion, as discussed in the Isle of Dogs episode.
Yeah, you love knowing that there's a bunch of little clay and a bunch of little dolls and stuff.
Well, I just think that like watching this movie, there's so many moments where I forget that it's all pictures of little action figures and little pieces of paper and shit, because it just looks so smooth and so good. Like especially the stuff on like the boat. Like the boat sequence took 19 months to shoot. When they're on that little leaf boat, because there's like they've got water there and it looks like water, but like I don't know what the water was made out of. Is probably some sort of like resin or maybe like paper mache. I don't know. But the boat itself was covered in about 250,000 paper leaves that were all carefully placed by hand and moved slightly every single frame. And it's like, that's the stuff I like. That's the good stuff. The big skeleton monster, where they get the sword Unbreakable, was just over 16 feet tall and 400 pounds. I don't know if you saw the little like credit sequence where they showed them like animating the big skeleton thing, or if you're the kind of guy to turn a movie off as soon as the movie ends.
I'm the kind of guy to turn this movie off as soon as it ends.
Can I be honest? When I rewatched the movie, I was like, there's no way Calder doesn't turn it off immediately. Because you're just that kind of fucking guy.
Do you have more facts about...
Yes.
Okay.
So the skeleton puppet was the largest stop motion puppet ever made. Absolutely massive. Kubo, like the character of Kubo himself, had over 48 million possible facial expressions and a total of 23,187 prototype faces that were made. Because I think they probably did like the eyes, like every part of his face was like swappable. So like they technically could have made up to 48 million different facial expressions, but they had just over 23,000 faces set, which is pretty nuts. And the movie consists of of at least 145,000 photographs, which is pretty.
I was close.
What did you say? 30 million?
3 billion.
Even closer.
So now you're speaking my language.
With the puppets, Leica got assistance from a 3D printing firm called Stratasys. Stratasys, I think, is how it's pronounced. But they allowed Leica to use their like new 3D printing technologies, and in exchange, they just asked for feedback. I'm sure there was some sort of financial agreement, but it seems like mostly they were like, yeah, you use it and you let us know how it goes or like what we can work on, which is a pretty good deal. The film was composed by Dario Marianelli, who also composed The Box Trolls, which is also a Leica production. I think that the music in this film is really good.
I really got that bing, bing, bing.
Dude, every single time Kubo busts out his like his strings and the paper goes flying, it's like or whatever. Love it.
Oh yeah, like the guitar is pretty sick.
Yeah. The film received critical acclaim for its craftsmanship, musical score, and story, but received criticism for its perceived whitewashing casting choice. And it performed poorly at the box office, grossing $77.5 million worldwide against a $60 million budget, which is
interesting.
Not very great.
And it released the same weekend as Ben-Hur and War Dogs?
Yeah. What month was that?
August 19th.
So I would have guessed like February, like dead zone for movies, but yeah, so kind of surprised
when they released Ben-Hur and War Dogs.
Yes, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it finished fourth in the box office behind War Dogs, Sausage Party, and Suicide Squad. I think in that order.
Oh well, yeah.
Ben-Hur fucking flopped, brother. Why would you want to watch a new version of Ben-Hur?
I don't know.
And
massive budget for that. Yeah, massive budget for that movie compared to stupid. But Kubo and the Two Strings.
Rude.
It's okay. Kubo and the Two Strings won Best Animated Film at the BAFTAs and was nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Academy Awards. And it was the first stop motion film to be nominated in that category since 1993. Nightmare Before Christmas. So that was pretty cool.
There was a Best Animated Film category in 93?
I guess so.
Interesting. Let me do some research.
That was...
is that all your research? Like all your facts?
I've got like two more things.
Okay.
Christy Lemire of RogerEbert.com awarded the film 3.5 out of 4 stars, saying that let me restart. Quote, One of the most impressive elements of Kubo and the Two Strings, besides its dazzling stop-motion animation, its powerful performances, and its transporting score, is the amount of credit it gives its audience, particularly its younger viewers. Basically saying the movie doesn't like it doesn't treat its audience like they are too stupid to get what's going on, which I do appreciate about this movie. I feel like it's like really well paced. There's not really any like, oh, and my nose is bleeding. 1 second.
It's because he's taking so fucking long to talk about those facts, and I'm gonna rip him open. I'm gonna tear him open like a little skunk. I'm gonna tear open his stink sack. I'm not gonna tear open his stink sack intentionally. I'm just gonna rib him a little bit, you know. And also, the best animated movie didn't exist in '93. Was established in 2001 because Shrek was the first one to win. So I don't know where he got that from, but you know, he has good intentions. He tries his best, even though he makes his nose bleed so he doesn't have to do the podcast, and that's fine. But I just don't like to see it. Also, there's little children yelling because it's Halloween night, and kids like to cause a ruckus. They like to cause mayhem, and I'm expecting to break through the window tonight. 5-year-olds are treacherous.
Oh, fuck. Sorry, my nose is bleeding like nuts.
That's a good voice.
Thanks.
Are you going to turn the filter off?
What?
The voice filter? Are you going to turn that off, or are we going to do the whole thing?
Yeah, sorry, let me go back to my regular voice.
There he is. I don't like this.
I didn't like that either, to be fair. So my nose is
You already
still
sound like a
bleeding, but I'll
minion
be
in your
fine.
day-to-day life.
Thanks.
Beta.
Man. So
That's rude.
I forget what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I feel like the movie doesn't have much like many lulls. Like the movie is kind of like a like getting from point A to point B movie where they're like looking for things. There a lot of the time is spent traveling from one place to another, but we don't really see a lot of the traveling. We kind of just see them like at the beginning when they're like in the big dead whale or whatever. And then the little origami Hanzo shows them where to go.
Mm-hmm.
They show like a little bit of them walking, but like I feel like it's very quick in getting to the next thing. There's not really a lot of just standing around. If there is like a quiet moment, it's usually because it's like zeroed in on like the characters like having a moment together or something. At least that's what I think. That's all of my... I have one thing to say about the art style. Basically just that they like were inspired by a bunch of Japanese art styles like ink wash painting, origami, ukiyo-e, woodblock style. Like, which was like the main one, apparently. But that's all my facts.
Can I say something that is related to something you said earlier?
Yes.
I think Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio might be the longest stop motion.
Oh, now?
Right now.
Well, even when because I read that on Wikipedia and then I Googled it to see if it was still true, and Google said that it's still Kubo. How long is
okay? So Mike, I think
Pinocchio?
there is some like live. Isn't there like you watched the Pinocchio one, right?
I did not.
Okay. Well, I don't know. It says it's 2 hours long. There might be a little bit of live action stuff that's in there. That, okay. So here's the thing.
Yeah, we're now let's get opinions out there. Go ahead.
Let's get opinions out there. Let's
my
talk
night.
it over. Let's fold this dough a couple times just to, make it nice and tender before we chop that up and we make a little pizza with it, okay?
All right, go ahead. I won't interrupt.
Is stop motion animated cool? And he farted. He's farting. Guys, here's the thing. He's trying to give himself IBS at this point.
That wasn't
He's
me.
violent. Come on, shut the fuck up. He's
think my mic
violently
can pick that
eating
up?
things that are horrible for your bowels. Thumbtacks. You know,
My brother-
little
If you're gonna talk about your opinion on Kubo, you should talk about your opinion on
This
Kubo.
is all related. It's all related.
Oh,
I
okay.
have a segue. Stop motion animation is kind of cool. It's kind of how this guy is in the bathroom because he's always stopping and taking for fucking ever to make his poopies. Dude, why are you doing a soundboard?
I don't know what any of these sounds sound like. I'm just hitting
What do you
buttons
mean?
here. I'm just hitting buttons here.
Stop motion animation's cool. Nice. The story setup is pretty cool. I like the music.
Okay.
It looks pretty cool. Is this movie a little underwhelming, I guess? Maybe that's why I didn't like it very much, because I heard it was like incredible.
Maybe do you
then-
feel like I hyped it up too much?
No, I feel like
Okay.
in general it's held as a very well-liked movie.
Hmm.
But like I felt like there was a lot of investment in this movie. You were talking about how like they went so over the, maybe not over the top, but like how much they put into the stop motion and like all this stuff and like the massive skeleton and all this thing.
I
all
think
these
they were
things.
basically like, let's just go all in. Like, let's make this look as good as
Let's
we
get
can.
Phil Knight to give us $30 million to make
Yeah,
a stop motion movie.
I did
Um,
learn recently that this is a bit of a nepo movie, a bit of a nepotism.
It's not a
movie.
bit of a Nepo movie. Phil Knight bought another guy's company and then did a hostile takeover so his son could be on the board of directors and then become the president.
Yeah.
Will Vinton Studios is what Leica used to be, and then Travis Knight was put on the board of directors, and now he's the CEO and lead of Leica while also being on the board of directors of Nike.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a bit fucky, which I learned recently. That being said, I
also
like the movie.
we'll take a bit. I'm not saying this. This isn't why I don't like the movie.
I know.
I think the guy is like kind of insane.
Yeah.
He began a rap career under the name Chili T.
Yikes.
Have you heard about this?
No, I have not.
He put out one album.
How did it do?
Not very well, but some guy who produced it. I think that's the opposite. You have like a one of the guys one of the guys who produced it said it still holds up today. I'm not gonna fucking listen to an album by a guy named Chili T. But then he went to school for animating. His dad bought Will Vinton Studios and then made it Leica, basically.
Yeah.
Which is like, no, actually, that's not fine. I'm not going to say that that's fine. Because this movie, I feel like could have been a lot cooler. There were a lot of things
Okay.
where they either just happened, well, I have a bit of an issue with the script. There's a lot of stuff that seems to just conveniently happen, or where the characters don't actually have to do anything to figure something out. Or at least that's how it felt on this watch, where it's like this little magical paper thing that they don't really understand is leading them in the direction that they need to go.
Yeah, the
Like-
little origami Hanzo is a little bit of like a plot device, you know?
Yeah. Or like they'll be fighting this skeleton and it's an intense fight. Crazy things are happening. He'll fall and then he just lands on the skeleton. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool. That was close. Like, I think he literally says like that was a close one or something. And then he just pulls out the right sword and it's like, well, that was easy. And then it's done.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Where's the rest of the scene?
I do feel like this movie is more like focused on character and spectacle than it is on like plot.
But even then, the
Sounds
characters
bad.
don't even like change much. Like, what is the difference between Kubo at the start and Kubo at the end? It's not like he was cowardly at the.
No, he wasn't
Start?
cowardly at the beginning, but he was a bit lost and he didn't really understand like his story. He kind of just played out the same day every single day, where he went down to the village, told a little story, got some money, went up, took care of his mom, and then did the same thing the next day. Whereas like, but he didn't know who he was or like where he came from or like why his life was the way it is. But by the end of the movie, it's like when he first stays out at night, which is the first time that his two aunties, who are creepy, Olivia loves them, voiced by Rooney Mara.
Yeah.
But they like find him. The reason that he was out was because he was trying to talk to his dad through like the lantern ritual. But like you see him get really frustrated because I think he kind of like resents his dad a little bit for like not being around, but he doesn't really understand anything, and he can't really ask his mom because she's losing it. She's like, basically gone.
What's it called, night shading or whatever? I don't think that's actually what she has.
I don't know.
She's doing Ambien, I think.
Sure, yeah, sure. But I think by the
like,
end, he kind of just like the big lesson is at the end, not to jump right to the end, but like his grandfather, the one who killed his dad, killed his mom, took his eye, and is trying to take his eye, or his other eye as well. And like, he has the opportunity to kill him and rid him from existence, I guess. But he instead decides to like
be kind,
wipe his memory and kind of give him a second chance. And I think,
but it's not like he was I don't think he would have killed him at the start of the movie, though. Like, it's not like he's going from someone who is vengeful to someone who's not vengeful. Is it?
No, but it's
like,
it's
maybe
going,
I just didn't pick up on that.
I don't think it's someone who's vengeful going to someone who's not vengeful. I think it's someone who doesn't understand their place going to or turning into someone who does understand their place. But like, I think he has a mindset of like everything that's bad that's happened to him is because of his grandfather. But then he gives his grandfather a second chance to find his place in the world as well. 'Cause like he could just get rid of him, but he wipes his memory, and like I like how all the villagers are like, his grandfather's like, I don't know what the heck's going on. And then they're like, you're a really nice guy. You give me money for free, and you're really nice. And he's like, oh, okay. But I don't know. I think Kubo's journey is I think it's just a coming of age story, truly, which is, we've talked about that being kind of like most animated films. But
he doesn't seem to do anything to come of age. You know? He gets saved, or something convenient kind of happens in most scenarios, or he is told where to go by some power he doesn't understand or control, even though it might be coming from him. He's not like controlling anything. So he's just kind of going through this story, and people start to like each other for reasons I don't quite understand.
What do you mean?
Like the monkey and the beetle.
Well, they like each other because they're spouses.
I know, but they don't know that.
Yeah, but
right?
I think that's meant to... yeah, but they're still the same people.
I know. It's just kind of like, you're watching the movie.
If you and Hillary got your minds wiped and then hung out with each other for like quite a while, you'd probably start to like each other because you are the same people.
No, I'd probably have a different accent.
Dude, you wipe my memory, I'm Irish.
What are you giving? Ooh, you want
That's
to take a little thing on it? I wasn't doing Irish. You said Irish. That would be my accent. You want to go take a trip? Let's go take a trip.
You know what
You didn't
my
like
voice
that
would
one?
sound like if I had amnesia?
Fuck, here he goes.
I don't remember. I don't remember anything.
You want to hear something?
What?
I'm going to tell you. Before this, Hillary and I watched one of, like, not before this podcast, but before this, watching this movie.
Yeah.
Hillary and I watched one of the better episodes, like maybe one of the best episodes of Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, yeah.
Season 12, I think. Episode called The Sound of Silence, where Meredith gets beat up by a guy who comes out of like a seizure.
Oh.
It's an incredible episode.
Okay.
And then I watched this movie, and there's a lot of like character moments. There's a lot of like cool things in it that are like building up her character and like how she is going to move forward and should move forward with her life and like try to forgive people. And then I watched this movie, and there's like, I just didn't feel like there was any like
So can I ask you
real
something?
character motivation or change.
Can I ask you something?
And you could let me finish.
I'll let you do that.
And that's fine. Like, I'm sure I would have enjoyed this much more in a theater, but I'm watching it at home and I'm like, I'm just watching a kid kind of have things happen to him. And there are some movies where like this idea of like growing up, coming of age in animated movies as well. Because remember, Spirited Away is number 1 on the list. And I said it should be number 1. I put that up there. Okay? So I'm not saying I don't like a movie like this. But in Spirited Away, she is doing things that are teaching her how to be an adult and grow up and all that. And it's like, if you're going to have the same themes as every other animated movie, relatively, like in quotes, you need to like have the character push himself along in this story, or else it's just kind of like he doesn't escape from the sisters at the start, right? His mom sends him away. What's the other thing? He doesn't save himself from the eyes. The beetle saves him from the eyes. And then like I guess he's fights the grandpa at the end, but like that's kind of the whole.
Well, I guess
like,
a
that's
big
what he
moment was
does,
when
I
he
guess.
has all of this armor. He has a sword unbreakable, the armor, chest plate, and
Impenetrable?
the hat, the helmet, in fuckable, whatever it is.
That's a
But-
wild one. I cannot believe they put that in the movie.
But like at the end, he's fighting his grandfather in like this weird serpent form.
Mhm.
And he's kind of fucking him up. He makes him blind in one of his eyes, or like he messes up one of his eyes, and slices his belly or whatever. But like it's still going on. But then he gets to that like cemetery where all of the villagers are and where all the lanterns and stuff are, and like he makes the decision to drop all the armor and instead. Because like at the beginning, he doesn't really have a family, and he doesn't really understand what having a family is like. And like, there's a lot of points through the movie where he talks about that, especially when they're on the boat, and they're just like, Hanzo and Monkey are talking to him, and Hanzo's like, they're just like asking Kubo about himself,
Mhm.
and Kubo's basically like, yeah, I've never like sat
Made
between
love.
like I've never had dinner between two people before.
Mhm.
Because he's only ever had dinner with his mom, and his mom, it's usually him feeding his mom because she's fully zoned out and basically brain dead. But
That's a sick thing to say about someone who's verbal.
sorry. Well, she like comes and goes. It seems like at night she's conscious, but or like
It's the Ambien brother.
at dusk she's like, I don't know. There's a brief time of day where she's okay, but for most of the time she's not. But he's kind of talking about like how he's never really had that family dynamic. He never knew his father. He's never really been able to connect much with his mother. He does as much as he can, but he's kind of just alone. But then at the end, even though like, because all he really had at the beginning was his stories, because he'd go to, when he was with his mom would tell him stories. Then he'd go into town and tell stories. That's all he really had. That's kind of his whole character at the beginning. But then he ends the movie, and like I feel like the armor and the sword kind of like symbolize the stories that he's kind of been living his life around. It's the stories he's been hearing, it's the stories he's been telling, and it turns out those stories are real, but like he ultimately decides in the end that like that is not the answer. The answer is like his family, so that's why he casts those aside, puts his mom's hair on his guitar, puts his dad's bowstring on his guitar, and like channels like
magic.
I guess magic and like the love of and connection to his family, and also the connection of all of the dead of everyone else's families who are there, to kind of be like, because the whole thing with the grandfather is the grandfather's like, why would you not want to live with me in the stars and be a god and immortal? And he's like, because
that's what my grandfather said to me.
yeah. That's why you're still here, because you blew him up with a guitar.
Yeah, I've been putting a lot of bombs in guitars recently. Do not go to
Long McQuaid. That's good. Yeah. So, but he, like the mom as well as Kubo are basically like, yeah, I'll never live among the stars and be immortal, but also you will never look into someone's eyes and like connect with them, like. And like what I find interesting is like the grandfather is blind from the first time you meet him. Like his eyes don't work. He's blind. Then Kubo cuts one of his eyes.
That's what blind means.
While he's still blind, but then he becomes a human, and that eye that he cut is blind, but like the other one is normal. So it's like the grandfather can see for the first time. Like, and Kubo gave him that. Like, he gave his grandfather the ability to love and connect. And I think that's kind of the journey of Kubo, is like
connecting with people, or learning how to connect with people, or
well, finding out like what his story is, and his story is family and connection rather than like these grand epic quests or whatever. I don't know. I do also say this. This is what I was going to interrupt you with before and then didn't. You are basically saying that an episode of a show that revolves around a character that you've seen 12 seasons of has better character development than a sub 2-hour movie.
Yeah, but there are 2-hour movies that have better character development than that episode.
Sure. But I just mean like you've watched 12. How many episodes?
I have not watched 12 seasons of Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, okay.
I've watched large chunks of 12 seasons of Grey's Anatomy, but never consistently through. So
would it be safe to say that you've probably watched around 60 hours of Grey's Anatomy? That's 60 episodes. If anything, that's conservative. It would probably be closer to 100.
Okay, don't give me the red pill. Yeah, probably.
Wait, each episode's an hour, isn't it?
It's 45.
Yeah, okay, so 45. So if I said 120 hours, that would be an episode a season.
I've watched.
That's not true at all. That's bad math.
There are like 19 seasons, but I haven't watched a lot of the newer seasons.
My point is, I feel like...
No, but here's what I'm saying. It's the way that the things are written.
Okay.
Because there are dog shit episodes of Grey's Anatomy.
I'm sure.
And like, that's fine, right? And I'm not saying this movie's dog shit. I'm just saying like, you gotta have like, I felt a little annoyed by a lot of the things that happened and how they happened and why they happened.
Okay.
And I really liked the beginning. I thought the whole paper fight scene was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And like the way he like gets the chicken to do it and all that stuff. I thought that was cool. But then I'm like sitting there for like an hour and Kubo's not really doing much. It's mostly Monkey and Beetle who are doing things. Beetle's annoying as fuck. He's not funny. None of the jokes really land.
So here's the okay, we talked about our opinions on the movie and the flow of the movie. We can get back to that. But let's talk about some characters for a second. Or I guess we've kind of already talked about the character of Kubo. Let's talk about the character of Monkey. So Monkey,
Charlie's.
Yeah, Monkey is like a little wooden figurine that Kubo has, and his mom tells him to always keep Monkey with him and always wear his dad's robe, like at all times. So basically to protect him. So his mom like saves him from her sisters, and then basically sends him off. And then, like, they do a big clash.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kubo wakes up, and Monkey is a real big monkey. An alive, real big monkey.
Yes.
And she's basically like, I'm here to keep you alive. And we're going to try and find the armor and stuff so you can kill your granddad. What are your thoughts on Monkey?
I think it was... And I wasn't even judging by the voice, but it was just, like, pretty obvious. Like, I don't know if the reveals are supposed to be reveals, I guess. That, like, Beetle is his dad and Monkey is his mom.
I think it's supposed to be a reveal for kids, but, like, especially on this watch, I was like, Monkey literally has a scar in the exact same spot that the mom has a scar. And, like, their voices are very similar.
I think it might have helped if they didn't hold that back as much. Because it felt like they were kind of trying to play it like it would be a reveal or like a...
Like, you think we should have known Monkey was his mom earlier?
I think he should have, like, picked up on it a little earlier.
Or been suspicious rather than just being told.
Yeah. And, like, yeah. I think Monkey is fine. Monkey does most of the stuff in the movie.
Yeah.
And I guess that makes sense as, like, his guardian.
Mm-hmm.
But it also, I think, hurts Kubo as a character a little bit because he is supposed to grow up, but it's hard to grow up when your parents are watching over you and saving you from most situations. And maybe this is a pro-parent movie, but I'm kind of anti-parent. Yeah.
That's a bold take. But yeah, I do feel like there's a few moments throughout the movie where they like point to Kubo like growing stronger in his powers and stuff and becoming stronger as a person. But like they're usually things that are like not very, I guess, showy or consequential. Like it's like he like uses his guitar to like make a bunch of paper origami birds fly around, and she's like, you're becoming stronger, and it's like, whoa, cool. And then later he uses his powers to make the big boat, which is cool. But like these are all things that are kind of just like he plays his guitar a little bit and something happens. Like he doesn't really have a moment where like Monkey's about to get killed, but then Kubo channels his powers and stops it from happening or something. There's not really one of those moments.
And like, I think the ship and like getting the chest plate or whatever, the armor, from the ocean is like a pretty good example of like Kubo just not doing anything. Mm-hmm. And like the other characters basically just taking care of him because he goes down. Beetle's kind of stupid. Yep. I don't know why he would go down and get a fish. They talked about what's going to happen.
I think like they keep hinting stupid. At like him. He has like constant amnesia. Like I think he truly was like, all right, I'll go get Kubo. And while he was down there, he was like, what am I looking for? Oh yeah, the fish from earlier. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I think that's what they were doing, but I do think Beetle is the weakest part of the movie. And honestly, I think writing him a bit better would be better, but I also think Matthew McConaughey is not the best choice for this character.
He's just kind of like mumbling.
Yeah.
He's mumbling through everything. Yeah, so like he goes down to get the chess piece. If he had to save his dad, I think that's a more interesting thing.
Yeah.
But his dad saves him.
Which is weird because I think the reasoning for Kubo being in the eyes instead of Beetle is so that Kubo can see and find out that Monkey is mom. But like we said earlier, he should just figure out that Monkey is mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think this sort of like dynamic with the parents is sort of like a Nepo baby thing? Because the parents are carrying him through.
Dude, honestly, that's actually an interesting insight. This is an autobiographical film.
Yeah. Travis Knight tries to make music.
Cause a lot of the powers that Kubo has are like through things that were given to him as well.
Interesting.
Oh no, did you just ruin this movie for me? No, I'm joking.
I mean, you didn't write the script, so.
I know.
I don't know. It's just weird that like at what feels like every turn where you could have Kubo like level up.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have to completely make a transformation, but like level up to like, okay, he can at least half save Beetle.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe he saves Beetle a bit and then Beetle wakes up and then he helps him.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But it's like, no, we're just going to wait till the end for him to like, I guess, grow in any way and go back to what he was doing, which is playing his guitar to save the day instead of using all these things in like the way that he's grown and like all these powers and skills that he's learned. Because we don't even see him like training to get better at magic, really. He just kind of gets better.
Yeah, he's just naturally getting better, yeah.
So I just think like, I don't know.
You know what you know what it might be? I think his powers might grow the closer he is, not necessarily in proximity,
with his family,
but like closer he is with like his family, because like his powers are just kind of always the same when he's going to the village or whatever. But his mom is like up in this like cave and like barely
really
exists.
Speaks to our Nepo baby movie theory.
Yeah, but like then when he's like right next to Monkey all the time.
What the hell?
And he's with her. All of a sudden, his powers start growing, and then they meet up with Beetle. All of a sudden, his powers are growing more. Then he like actually gets to know them and grows closer with them. Then he actually has like the power to like his powers growing, and then he finds out who they are. Feels a tighter connection to them, and that's then at the finale where like he's able to fully connect with them by adding their component to his guitar, and that. So I feel like that's a good theory. Is that like the closer he is to like, because his father was like a great warrior and his mother was like a god. So like it makes sense that like the closer connection he has to them, the stronger his powers given from them are.
Who's Travis Knight's mom?
Watch it be like she's a musician.
Is it Mary Magdalene?
Probably.
He doesn't have his mom in here. Why is his mom not on Wiki? Give me his mom's Wiki, please.
Wiki, please.
Let me see his mom's Wikipedia, please. I need to know her name. I need to know where her address is. Penny Knight. Phil Knight's wife. She's got an absolutely massive blowout. Like hair, I mean. Phil Knight does not look like Ben Affleck, huh?
Did you expect him to?
Well, Ben Affleck played him.
Oh, did he?
In Air.
Oh. I don't know.
Have you seen Bumblebee?
Yeah. Have you?
What do you think?
I thought it was fine. I'd say it's probably top 3 Transformers movies.
That's probably where I'd sit too. I think Bumblebee's like kind of fun.
Yeah, it's
and
pretty
John
fun.
Cena's like a little sneaky good in it, I think.
Honestly, I feel similarly to Bumblebee as I do this movie, at least plot-wise, where it's just like we're just kind of moving somewhere.
Yeah,
but like it's pretty good. It's not bad. I'd say I like this movie better than Bumblebee, but
I think they're probably on the same level for me.
Oh man. All right.
I don't think Bumblebee's bad though. Like I don't think either of these movies are actually bad. I'm just pointing out the problems I have with this movie and like why I kind of found it annoying. But like I wouldn't give this a negative rating.
Sure. Well, that's about what you've done thus far.
Yeah, but it's interesting for me to be like, I kind of like the animation and the art style, and like
there's
some cool things in here. Is it more interesting for me to be like, I don't think the plot works very well and it hurts the movie?
I think it's more interesting for you to balance both rather than
I lost all my balance when I was a young boy because my ears don't work anymore.
That is true, because I can't give you a high five without you falling down.
Adam, cops keep pulling me over because I swerve across the lanes and they think I'm drunk, and then I have to tell them that my balance is bad. And then they don't believe me. And you know whose fault that is?
Whose fault is it?
Phil Knight, because he sold me some bad Nikes. They exploded, blasted my leg off, and it went right into my ear. The Nike swoosh went right into my ear like a knife. Now I can't balance anymore.
Can we focus up for a minute?
You don't acknowledge or like my trauma. And this is why this podcast is never going to work out. What the fuck is that? Why is it so long?
Let's calm down for a moment.
Yeah, you know what's really calming?
Okay, fine.
This is some good rock.
Oh, brother.
I need to...
Oh, no. Oh, too many sounds. Okay. I didn't realize they'd all play at once. So... Let's move on to the next.
Remember one time we've had a couple podcasts. Remember one time I was like, "Oh, I got a soundboard," and you're like, "I do not want you just using soundboard noises while we're doing the podcast."
Yeah, but I also feel like you would abuse it, and I'm not really someone who would abuse it. Okay,
I would not abuse it.
I mean, I'm not really someone who would abuse it. I'm someone who I'm very responsible. So there's one thing I want to talk about here. That's just like a small aspect of the movie that I noticed the first time I watched it. I don't know if you noticed it. But when Kubo has his dream of his grandfather, but he doesn't know that's his grandfather yet. He just knows he's a fucking guy in his dream. And he tells him to go to the temple where then they're ambushed and both of his parents die. When he wakes up his parents and they're going, and he puts the origami Hanzo in his bag, the origami Hanzo is pointing the other way. Basically, like, being like, don't go that way. But he doesn't see him because he's frantically putting him in his bag. But that's just a nice little hint to be like, it made me a little sus of what's going on. Made me go, what? I clicked a soundboard button titled Realize, and the image is a light bulb. So I figured that would be like a ding. Like, oh, I got an idea, but it was, how is that Realize? Whatever. Let's move on.
Wow, I gotta take that away from you. What the hell?
I'd like to quote Calder for a moment. Before this episode, because we were going to record this episode in person, didn't really have the time, mostly because Calder didn't watch the movie in time. Which
it felt like it was going to be a chore.
Shut the fuck up. But then I was like, okay, but if we're recording it over Discord, I might do some stuff. And you were like, dude, just do whatever you want. You can literally do whatever you want. And now you're complaining about it, and I kind of think that's your own fault. So let's You have much
Where
more
do
to
you want me
say,
to go
or
from here? Where do you want me to go from here?
what? I have some
I have
questions.
a couple things.
Oh, you
I
actually
think,
you say your things first.
I think I didn't. Maybe I just don't connect to the theme.
Sure.
You know,
Maybe.
there are a lot of things that just aren't going to be for me. The answer being the power of family is probably one of those things.
Let's
You
just
know?
get a real quick.
I think it's
Sorry.
just kind of like, so he's just got to talk to his parents. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And I get he didn't have parents before, kind of. But also, like,
Because
I
I
don't know,
really
man, make
like
a
all
friend.
the little. I like all the little connect moments. I will say this: I love my parents. That's kind of the end of it. I love my parents. I've also never really connected super well to like parent-child themes in movies.
Mhm.
They just don't get me as much as some people have. Maybe that's just because I've gotten lucky and not had like
Bad relationships with them.
yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of people who like connect a lot to parent things are like, yeah, either people who have had like strained relationships with their parents or people who have like, I don't know,
Really positive relationships.
yeah, like like grown up and it's like my mom's my best friend, like those kinds of relationships. Like all these people who go on Survivor and they're like,
I want my mom to come out for my one person I want to see.
Yeah, and
my mom.
and then they come out
That's
and they like kiss on the mouth.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, don't slide your mom tongue, please. Exactly what I was thinking.
So yeah, I feel like the child parent theme is something that's not always spoken to me either, but I feel like what really got me in this movie, I liked all the little connective moments between like Monkey and Beetle. Not that I like Beetle, but like the little moments where like they slowly start to connect. Like I think my favorite line in the movie is when like Monkey's like applying some cream to Beetle's wings or something. And then
I think she's just massaging them, isn't she?
Or maybe. Well, no, I think she has like a little
She's
thing.
creaming him?
She has like some sort of ointment she's rubbing on him or something.
Ooh.
But like he says something where he's like, "Wait a second, are you being nice to me?" And then she like goes, "Shh, don't tell anyone." And it's like, I don't know. I really like that line because I don't know. It feels like they're connecting. And it's just, I feel like their relationship is sweet to see evolve because you're kind of seeing two people who like have a deep, deep love for one another to the point where one of them like threw away the life of being immortal to be with them. Like connect without knowing it. You know what I mean? Like they're connecting without realizing it is each other. And I think that's kind of sweet. Which maybe that's something that's nice upon a repeat viewing, but I don't know. But what?
Yeah, maybe I didn't really connect to the theme. I thought the animation's cool. I always think stop motion's pretty cool. I just think also stop motion, you need a really, really good script.
Yeah,
because
I do.
It takes so long to make it, and if you make a movie that's stop motion and it's just kind of fine, it's hard to like fix it while you're making it.
Yeah.
Right? If you're making it and you realize it's like, oh, maybe this isn't like the best thing.
Can
or
I
like maybe this should happen. You know, it's hard to be like, fuck, scrap it. Like you can't really do that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, they spent 19 months on the boat? Like the boat scene.
They spent 19 on the animation? Yeah, they spent 19 months on that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard to be like halfway through that, be like, I don't know about this thing.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just like,
Can I toss
there are some very good animated movies that are like very interesting and have like interesting stories and ways they're telling it. Like I like Coraline a lot. And there's probably some other ones I'm forgetting. And it's like probably the coolest style of animation.
Yeah.
How
do you think this this movie's animation stacks up to other stop motion animated films you've seen? Like,
you got to give me some names.
Well, I don't know what
like
you've
stop
seen.
motion animated movies.
Coraline, Nightmare Before Christmas, Isle of Dogs.
Isle of Dogs. I think Isle of Dogs works a little better for me.
Interesting.
Because I think it's just like they have more flourishes and more like
it's a bit more stylized.
Yeah, like even the explosions or like the fight scenes in Isle of Dogs, I think work really well for that style. And like they're limited, obviously, but they use those limits to their advantage. Whereas I feel like this one is, they were kind of like, okay, we can't keep shooting things with the skeleton, so we have to just end the skeleton scene when he gets the sword. Like you just pull the sword out and the skeleton's eyes go dead, instead of it being like you pull the sword out and then you have to do this other thing to kill it.
Yeah.
You know? So I kind of like some of the Isle of Dogs stuff a little better. I haven't seen Coraline in a while, but like Henry Selick, I think, directed that movie, and he's like a god of stop motion animation.
You know what I truly think it is? It's this weird thing for this movie where I don't think it would have gotten made if it wasn't a Nepo movie. But I also think that because it's a Nepo movie and Travis Knight just simply had to be involved as much as possible, I think it wasn't as good as it could have been. Like I'd say I'd say this is like a good movie. I don't think
this should not be the first movie that he makes.
No. Well, yeah, it was to be honest, I mean, I don't want to throw accusations out there. To be honest, this movie was probably mostly made by other people, and he was just kind of there.
And it's just like you need to do it for a long time to be able to make a really good stop motion animated movie.
Well, because
like
a lot of the time, stop motion animated directors are either people who have done a lot of it before, or people who were like animators before, like people who have been in it.
And this seems like with Travis Knight, he graduates from Portland State. I don't know what year, but like between 95 and 2003, he graduates from Portland State and then becomes basically the head of Leica by 2005.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, how is that happening so quickly? And he's making his movie and like he's in charge of all these people. You know?
Yeah. I know he didn't
and
write
also
it.
And also they can't say no to him because his dad owns the company.
Yeah. Yeah. I know he didn't write it, but it does also feel like it's a very common thing that it's like to be a creative person a lot of the time, not like across the board, but a lot of the time to be a person in a creative field, you need to have like a strong life experience or like have like been through things or like at the absolute minimum lived a regular life. Or like an average person's life. I feel like it's tough for a plot or a movie to like have super gripping themes when the director has allegedly, like I said, I don't know this guy, but allegedly,
well, he was Chili T, so he was hard at some point. He was a hardcore rapper at some point.
But like, it's tough for a movie to have very strong themes when the director hasn't really had any strong themes in his life.
Except for his parents can help him with a lot.
Yeah,
if he's near his parents.
Which honestly, you've kind of given me a new outlook on this movie a little bit. But I still like the movie, but that's definitely interesting.
Like James and the Giant Peach. You seen that one?
No.
There's so much texture to the stop motion in that movie. And like the way the peach feels and all these creepy creatures. And obviously that's just like that in Coraline. Nightmare Before Elm Street.
Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I'm gonna shoot myself. And like Fantastic Mr. Fox and all like the movies that we've discussed.
Yeah.
Those people have a style. And I think this movie has style, but it doesn't have like a style, if that makes sense. Like there's a lot of really cool looking things and well done things in this movie.
Yeah.
But none of it really pops. And I also feel like there are big moments that could have been that worked. You know?
Okay.
But all in all, I think the movie does its job. And I am 100% sure that there are a lot of people who will connect with this movie if they watch it and like it. And that's cool. I appreciate that. Just didn't feel like it was for me. Just
That's
the
okay.
script annoyed me a little bit. And
I get you.
I went in wanting a little more than I got, I think.
I get you. Now, one last thing that I'll mention, and then we can get to some questions I've written down. I don't know if you've got questions.
Oh, brother, do I have questions. I've got about 27 of them.
Oh, wow. Actually?
No.
Okay. All right.
26.
Last thing that I'll talk about is I just kind of on the connection to family and like they kept referring to like their their deceased family as like our loved ones who have like moved on or whatever, who've like or whatever. But I do really love the last scene where they all stand together, and then also all of like the spirits, I guess, of all of the deceased family, like the lanterns kind of like turn into them and they also stand by them. So it's basically all of these people who are living and will die, as well as people who have lived and are dead, basically like standing against this immortal being and being like, we choose life and death rather.
Love.
We choose life, love, and death rather than choosing a life of immortality, but cold loneliness, you know? Anyway, I really like that scene. I'll admit that it does...
Dogs.
It does give me chills, that one. That scene does give me chills there.
You know what gives me chills?
A brisk breeze.
When the surgeons of Seattle Grace are operating, trying to figure out what's wrong with Meredith as she's just been beat to shit by a man, and she's sitting on the table. People are crying. People are trying to cut her lungs open, get a little tube in there.
That's stupid.
That's stupid?
What the fuck was that
Mister,
from?
I got a nosebleed. Get a humidifier.
Hey,
You
I'm not
freak.
your mama. Please,
Dude,
stay
why?
with me.
What is
You
this?
still
What's
there?
happening? You still there?
Oh, what is this?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't like you.
Is this a button?
Yeah.
I'm a blessing in
Why
this
is that a
kingdom.
button?
I am getting bored.
Why is it so
I
long?
am getting bored.
Oh, man. All right. You know what I have to
You
say
want to ask
about...
questions first? Or you want me to ask questions?
I'll ask questions first, but you know what I got to say about these soundboard buttons?
What?
It ain't funny.
It ain't funny. So my first question was, did you expect the animals to be parents? You said yes. I kind of anticipated you saying yes.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious.
Would you sacrifice your memory to have beetle powers? Precise with a bow. Can fly.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I would.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't... What am I living for? I guess is the question.
Mm.
And is it more valuable to be able to shoot a bow or be a human?
Probably shoot
You
a bow.
decide.
Probably-
Maybe make that the question. Make that the question in the Spotify.
I'm not changing the question to... What did you even say? What's better, be a human or shoot a bow?
Yeah. Why don't we make some of the questions we ask each other the question in the thing?
That actually would be interesting.
But no one's going to answer. But like,
no one's answered a single one of them.
Hey, if you're listening, answer one of the questions in the Spotify app, and we'll read it next episode.
Probably. The issue is like if we go back, usually we record episodes in bulk, so like we won't always be able to. Maybe I could acknowledge it before the intro or something when I'm editing. I don't know. Anyway, what animal guardian would you have?
That's an interesting question, actually. That is a very interesting question.
So little figurine that turns into a...
I guess it's not based on their personality, right? I guess it's not like Kubo gets a monkey because he's a little monkey.
No.
So I guess it's sort of like, what would my parents be as animal guardians?
You can answer that question if you want. That's not the question I was asking.
And that's the question you're going to be answering, though.
Okay.
What would my parents be if they were animal guardians? That's a very interesting question you've asked me, Adam. I think maybe like a ferret for my mother.
A ferret?
Yeah. And for my dad... Why is that on there? We need like a counter for how many fucking sound effects you
Not enough, I'll tell you that much.
For my dad, what would I do for my dad? Maybe like an elephant.
An elephant?
Yeah.
That's pretty rad. That's
what
pretty
about
good.
you?
I don't know. For my... Oh, that's tough. For my
You should
mom...
have been thinking while I was doing that instead of finding shit on the soundboard.
You're right. For my mom, honestly... honestly, I feel like my mom would be like a goose.
Ooh. Dude,
you know?
I'm going to fucking kill myself.
I feel like a goose is
this
like...
is insane.
I feel like a goose is like a strong bird, but like also my mom's a talker. But like I don't know. I feel like my mom's got goose energy. My dad
could be a parrot.
Oh man. Honestly, I feel like my dad is like a bear. My dad's a bear, I feel. My dad's a bear.
Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense.
He does it? Yeah. That kind of lines up.
Yeah. Your dad's a bear. That's just you making that noise.
Actually, can I try to make that noise? Let me get one more sample. Okay, that's a sample. Here's me. Wow, that was kind of perfect right on.
I didn't have to look to know that wasn't you. How many strings do you have?
How many strings do I have?
Yeah, if Kugo got
I've
two,
got
how
no
many
strings to hold me down.
Ultron!
Whoa!
Kevin Spacer.
I love Ultron, dude.
I watched Age of Ultron and it's still pretty bad.
It is still. There's a lot of people being like, "Oh, dude, Age of Ultron is way better than people say." It's like, is it though?
I mean, people say it's like one of the worst movies ever. It's not that, but it's not good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If you say that something is a pile of dog shit and then it's a pile of cat shit, I guess that's a little better. Because at least one's in a litter box. Brother. Okay. Do you have another question?
No, I'm out. I have no more questions. Yeah.
You had one question.
No, I had 3.
What were they?
Did you expect the animals to be the parents? You said yes.
Oh.
Would you sacrifice your memory to have beetle powers? You said yes. And what animal guardian would you have /be?
I think I did sacrifice
what animal?
my memory for
What
beetle
animal
powers.
guardian do you think you would be? Is what I forgot to ask.
Oh, I think I'd probably be like... Oh, interesting. That's actually fascinating. What kind of energy do I give? What kind of animal energy do I give?
I just gave you a hint.
Let's see if... What was that noise? Pig?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hillary, what kind of animal energy do I give?
No, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it.
So she started by saying something feral.
Nice.
Well, I laughed and I said something feral, not easily tamed, but gentle.
Can I suggest
Adam's
something?
got one.
Can I throw out a suggestion? Hyena.
Yeah, go for it.
Hyena.
Ooh, too small.
But he's not aggressive, so that's
true.
nice.
That's true.
He's not an apex predator.
So it's
at all.
something that's feral but not aggressive.
Yeah.
Maybe like a feral dog.
No.
Well, like feral dogs don't have to kill.
Oh, I know. A
Actually,
mosquito.
That's probably pretty good.
A mosquito?
Yeah, no, the dog thing, because like he looks big and scary, but like not at all. Like could not command anything.
What's big?
Very much has an owner,
What the
and like is
hell?
like
a capybara?
Like a
I don't know
capybara?
enough about capybaras.
She just said I have an owner and could not command anything. Did you not hear that?
I didn't hear that part, but I think I missed the best part.
I think I gotta get a lawyer.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. Just for defamation, nothing serious.
I'm gonna ask Olivia what mine is. You fill time. You're probably gonna.
I'm gonna ask a question here. I'm not gonna shit talk you.
Okay.
So silly.
I'll be right back.
Here's a question to the audience. What would you like to see shown in stop motion? I feel like it's a form of storytelling that is pretty cool and can be used in cool ways, but not used enough. I feel like a lot of stop motion movies are very fantastical. The one I'm thinking of is a sort of like crime noir film that like is in stop motion, a little gritty, and like just has like cool shit. Dude, I honestly gotta destroy your PC this weekend.
Dude, I'm
gonna
not. I
pour
just
water
got
on
back.
it.
What are you talking about? What happened?
What role would you cast Anthony Davis in?
Anthony Davis?
Yeah. Oh, Adam Driver. Sorry, just got the brow on the mind.
Yeah.
Since I drafted
Also, I
him.
went to ask Olivia what my animal would be, and she is fully asleep. So
She's like a cat, man. She'll sleep like 18 hours a day.
yeah, if she could, yeah, she did. She was very exhausted today, which is pretty sick and cool. Although we've talked about it, and it's like I think she's assigned me to be like a duck, like a mallard, like a mallard duck.
Kind of like your mom.
Yeah, I guess she's a goose.
Adam Driver. It's hard to recast an animated.
I think it's
voice.
actually really easy.
No, I think in general it's just hard, like a hard
sure.
thing to be like.
Yeah,
I think it's
especially
obviously
since
Beetle,
Adam
'cause
Driver
Beetle sucks.
Yeah,
But
Adam Driver has not done any voice roles, so like that's kind of also what makes it tough.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's easily Beetle. Not only because I think Matthew McConaughey is kind of mid in the role, but I think Adam Driver would probably bring a bit more interesting charm to it.
Yeah, and I think maybe he could. Maybe the jokes are just the writing, but I think maybe he could like spice up some of the jokes, maybe, and not mumble through the whole thing and clearly do it in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Beetle.
You say Beetle?
Yeah, Blue Beetle. Sorry, we'll do that later on in the podcast. Where are we gonna rank this?
This is tough.
And you have to go first, okay? Because I went first last week.
All right.
Cucamonga.
For me,
This is a hard one for you, huh?
This is a hard one for me.
Yeah, it's because I understand, but you need to be honest with yourself, your body, your mind, your spirit, and your ancestors. Don't lie.
I would
The Dutch
probably
don't lie.
I would probably put it right above.
Not based on what I'm gonna put it though.
I know.
Right? Okay.
I'm just saying where I want to put it.
Right above.
I would probably put it right above. You're gonna hate this. I'd probably put it right above West Side Story.
Not too far off from where I was thinking.
Okay.
I was thinking around Isle of Dogs.
Okay. I in watching this movie this time realized I think I like it
more than Isle of Dogs,
but only slightly. The issue is like I know that's like 7 points above Isle of Dogs, but like I
They're
also
all
like
pretty
it
close in
slightly
that
more than
range,
these movies.
though.
Yeah, the middle of our list is like all pretty close.
So let's go through them one by one. West Side Story, I'm not going to let you do that.
That's
above
fine.
West Side Story.
You're also not going to let me do above Fast Five. Well, you said Isle of Dogs area. Can you say a specific spot?
I was thinking maybe between Isle and Alita.
Okay.
I think I like Isle of Dogs a smidge better.
Okay. So then if we're going here, that brings us to around the 1920 area.
I don't like it more than Scream.
Okay.
I do like it a bit more than About Time. I could see me watching this again before I rewatch Karate Kid.
Okay. Then do you just want to put it at 20?
Just let me work it out.
Oh, okay.
John Wick. Both films have incredible craft for what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And both films, I feel, have slight plot problems.
Mm-hmm.
Not plot holes. Could you give me 21, or is 20 where we're going?
What, so below About Time instead of above About Time?
Yeah, but you could date above About Time. I'm just offering it up. I'm just asking. It's just a question.
I feel like I really like both Kubo and About Time.
That's interesting.
Kubo, About Time, 2 strings.
The fuck does that?
Because About and Time
start
start with the same letters as and the. So Kubo, About Time, 2 strings. Instead of Kubo and the 2 strings.
Did you hit your head when you were going to check on Olivia?
Oh, yeah. So, I'm just, what do I like this better or worse than About Time? Because you also had some plot issues with About Time. I think About Time, because it also had, I think personally, me talking, Adam Cook talking, I would rather watch Kubo and the 2 strings just because I think it's a bit shorter and it's like, I see it as just like a fun adventure. I'm not in for like a deep time. You know what I mean? I'm just like watching a fun adventure with like a lot of like nice visuals. About Time is a bit more of like, all right, I'm sitting here to like take in some like life lessons.
But I think that fits a little better with the Karate Kid and John Wick area. To break this down even more minutely.
Sure.
Whereas I feel like About Time, there is some like interesting themes, there's some like character development, there's some characters learning stuff, which is why I would want to bump it down just a notch.
Bump Kubo down a notch.
Yes.
But my thing is, About Time does have a lull or two. I don't think Kubo really has a lull. It kind of just like keeps it going pretty consistently.
Kubo's got no light bulb. There's no lights on inside this moth. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. So,
you know what?
Let's move past that.
I'm willing to put Kubo below About Time for one reason and one reason only, and that is Beetle.
Yeah, Beetle's bad. Beetle's really bad.
He's like, here's the thing. He wasn't bad always, but he was bad most of the time. Like there was a line or two where he'd say or do something, and like there was a bit where like Monkey was like, "What could you possibly offer us that we don't already have?" When they're like debating whether he should join them, and he like fires 5 arrows at the wall, and they all hit the exact same spot, split each other open, and he goes, "Oh, I've literally never done that before." Like, I liked that line. But then there's also stuff where he's like, I forget what the line was, but he's like, "Oh fuck, we're boned." When they were when they were fighting the skeleton, it's like, "Oh, because he's bones." And it's like stuff like that is just like, whatever.
Yeah, it felt like were trying to inject some comedy into it.
Yeah,
but I've never met a trust fund baby who's funny. So
that's true.
You see these people they're so rich, they got all this money. They're not funny. You don't know a joke.
They don't know joke? Is that what you said?
They don't know joke. They don't know joke. You can come from a wealthy family or a pretty well-off family and make some jokes. You can't have a trust fund. That's just a rule. That's just a rule, man. Conan went to Harvard. That's fine. He's funny. Can't have a trust fund. That'll be it for this episode.
Yeah.
I'm logging off.
Oh no. Can you still hear me?
Pretty downbeat, huh? Yep.
I made a mistake. I clicked a voice and it's low.
So, hey everyone. Joe Biden here.
What?
Hey guys, it's Joe Biden. Just here to talk to you guys. Is it working?
That actually supposed to be Joe Biden?
I think it's supposed to be Joe Biden. It's pretty bad.
Biden.
Yikes.
I think you have to
I can't turn it off
while you're using it.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm supposed to be Obama. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. My name. Fuck. I can't turn it off.
Okay, we're back. Sorry, I got to stop that.
A long day's just getting longer, huh?
Sorry, I've actually, that was a mistake. I was like, how can we end this on like a fun soundbite bit? And I chose the wrong one. Thank you everybody for listening to the. Oh, it was a fun bit. Thanks everybody for listening to this episode. This was Kubo and the Two Strings. We ranked it at 21 on our list, right under About Time, right above the original Karate Kid, 1984. And that's I feel okay about that. I thought
it's literally in 1984.
Thank you everybody.
Brother, stop clicking the soundboard.
No, I was actually exiting the soundboard because I'm like, I can't do anymore. Thank you everybody for listening to this episode. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if you think the soundboard should be in every episode or if you never want to hear it again. Calder. What's up?
What the fuck are you mean? What do you mean?
Next episode is The Incredibles. We'll catch you next time. And I've got insight on that episode. I've got insight. I got things to talk about in that episode.
You got an inside line on Michael Giacchino and Phil Bird? Is that who it is?
I've more got a line in on the Community.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that.
See you guys next time. We'll see you. Bye.
That's
Love
wild.
you.